point thing where you can work.
It seems like you're supposed to sit on it and work it like a freaking joystick. Hey everybody, how you doing? I'd like to introduce you to myself, Kevin Beecher, and this is my good friend Josh Mazzei, and
Hello.
This is our second official podcast, really our first one, but we're here.
Or the fourth one.
Or the fourth one, yeah. We've had a couple issues, so we're just working through that, but so yeah, here we are. This is like our first real podcast we're trying to put out there, and it's gonna be like a full size one. The first one was kind of a little teaser and just talking
this
a
will
little
be
bit.
a better like an example of what the show's gonna be like, and and we're just looking forward as the year starts to go by. We're gonna have a lot more content that we can bring on in terms of guests and stuff like that.
Yeah.
This week we're drinking Lancaster Brewing Company's Milk Stout.
Yeah, it's different, It's a stout. It's definitely made with milk sugar.
Milk sugar. And I was gonna say, neither one of us know what that is, do we?
Do you know what that is?
It's off camera. No, well, we're not sure what that is. But it is like, it's interesting. I'm a big fan of stouts, and I love nitro stouts because they're super smooth, and this kind of has that quality without being a nitro beer. It's very just
It is a smooth beer.
Yeah, it's very
like
smooth.
I said, it's very drinkable.
Yeah.
And when it sounds gross when you think milk and beer, and it kind of sounds gross. But
Yeah.
it doesn't have that at all.
But milk implies a sense of creaminess, but the irony being that it's not milk, it's milk sugar. In fact,
this is a Pennsylvania brewery, and it's actually only like about an hour and 15 minutes from where we live, and they have a restaurant, brewery, pub kind of thing, and really good food. The beer is definitely decent.
Yeah.
But
we actually drank this last night.
Oh, he's got us some info here.
Oh, cool. Oh, nice. Merriam-Webster would define milk sugar as, in a sentence.
Where you at? Where you at?
That was perfect.
Oh,
I like the Merriam-Webster thing. That was great.
I was just using it in a sentence.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Milk sugar? No, it's...
Here we go. I don't want to. That's like, well, actually, we've talked about making a segment where we have to pronounce something hard, and this is it.
Yeah.
It's a Disa Chai Ride. Disa Chai Ride, baby. It's something, it's a chemical compound that is present. That was a nice ad-lib, chemical compound. Chemical compound present in milk that upon hydrolysis yields glucose and galactose.
Oh, that's it.
What
Yeah.
a good.
Wow. Well, hey.
Oh, damn.
Big
And then at
shout
the
out
bottom,
to milk sugar.
And under a second definition would be a white crystalline sweet water-soluble commercial form of this compound obtained from whey and used in infant feedings, in confections and other foods.
And beer, apparently. So anyway.
Also called milk sugar. Oh, wait, that's the definition for lactose. Man.
Yeah, good job, man.
Okay.
We're reading. Oh, hey.
That was a test. Who caught that before we did?
Oh, there you go.
A sugar. Okay, here's milk sugar. A form of sugar found in mammal's milk and now usually referred to as lactose. When an infant had to be bottle fed, cow's milk was sometimes fortified with extra milk sugar. Huh, interesting.
See. Lactose.
There's some titty milk in the beer is basically what it comes down to, is what I'm saying.
It's pretty decent.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers,
It's good beer.
I like it.
It's
Yeah.
like, it's a good beer to pick. It's like I said, it's a local Pennsylvania brewery, so
Yeah. We probably mentioned it in the last episode, but it's kind of a cloudy memory of that last episode. But you won't be seeing us drinking IPAs. I don't know if that came up, but we'll just reiterate that.
Yeah, we definitely talked about that.
We did, okay. Yeah. It's been a while.
It has been a while.
I should have reviewed the first episode a little bit, but I'm a
Yeah.
little scared to.
Oh, well.
So,
Yeah. So anyway.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Good beer.
So this is
some of these back.
this is Happy New Year,
Yep.
Merry Christmas, all that kind of stuff. We're just getting through with that holiday season, and moving on, and a lot of stuff's happened since the last episode. Even we did a lot of things.
Yeah, actually, we had a lot go on since the first episode. I mean, it was basically, it's been like a 3-week run, or
Yeah, I don't even remember honestly. But after that first little teaser thing we did, last week, I guess it was like December 15th,
December
15th, 16th, something like that. We went up to Harrisburg for like 3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
And
our buddies Paul and Sean opened up a new shop up there, Coexist Gallery in Steelton,
PA,
which is essentially it's essentially Harrisburg, right?
It's right beside Harrisburg. It's an old steel town.
Yeah.
It's pretty much. I mean, it's kind of a dying little town. Like I said, it's sad, but they're trying to rejuvenate it.
Well, there's something going. I mean, there's stuff going on there, but
a lot of people drive through it.
Yeah, being a West Coast person, I love those towns. I mean, it's just like a rotting decay, all the rusted metal and those crazy factories that are behind the shop that, obviously were just probably popping in the 70s.
Oh yeah, in the 70s, all these neighborhoods
was just probably so alive, but
street parties and they'd have like the block parties all the time, and it was. Like I said, back in the day, I can imagine.
Oh, I can only imagine. You can just see but that's part of the cool stuff you guys have out here. You have a lot of history in your cities and stuff.
I like those walls that run down along the highway and they're all made out of stone.
Yeah,
really, really cool looking.
Yeah, some cool architecture.
But we went to Sean Gold's and Paul Catherman. They, like I said, they have their new shop called Coexist. They had a huge grand opening, and like I said, we got a video here. I know. They had Dan Collins is a good friend of ours.
Yep.
And
Head Life Media, is that his thing?
I think so.
Yeah, we'll try to throw up something to Dan in the credits.
But he's a really good filmer, videographer, and I mean he puts on a really good, video for it for everything. Yeah. He did Melt for us this year.
Yeah, he came out to Melt.
And he just does a lot of stuff for the glass community.
I think he had a big part to do with the Slinger movie.
He did Marcel's too.
Well, yeah. Well, Marcel's, but the Slinger movie. I think he actually had a lot to do with that.
Well, so up there, that's a little video of me there making soup. We had our friend Kalen was there.
Yeah, Glass Routes.
If you know him, Glass Routes. He has a soft glass truck, like a mobile, like it's in like a 1963 or 64 like bread truck or something. Yeah. He converted into a soft glass studio, and they had live music.
Sean Gold bought that truck now, right?
I think
technically Sean Gold's truck now.
They had ice sculpting.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
Yeah, some really cool stuff that the ice sculpture. Here she is. We can just run through this video a couple times. It'd be hard since it's just on pace. But
well, like you said, her name was Griffin Ramsey.
Gordon Ramsay.
Not
Gordon Ramsay.
That was a joke.
And you said she was from Texas.
Yeah, is what they said. Huh. And she was pretty badass. She's not even like an ice sculptor. Like she's been on for like a year. She does woodworking and wood sculptures and stuff like that. But she crushed it out.
I bet you're pumped to get out of. I mean, honestly, I always thought wood was one of the hardest things to work with. It's like the most unforgiving thing. But with the ice, that must be awesome.
Yeah, and she was crushing it. She had a little steel chainsaw, and she's like hitting and cracking away.
A little electric chainsaw just grinding away. That during the week, I mean, you'll see in the video there. She made a little reindeer, a really cool Santa Claus smoking.
That was the first
with a little pipe. That was one of my favorites.
She did a pot leaf.
She did a big pot leaf, and then of course she did the GTT torch, which
that was cool.
Ran a propane line up to, and I don't know. Yeah,
well, like I said, Kalen, they drilled out the center of it, and even on that reindeer there, that little reindeer, they put little glass nose on.
Yep, Derek Weaver made some antlers and a little red nose for the snowman. That was a nice little addition for sure.
Well, now she said she can take those off and redo that sculpture, and use them for the next ones,
cool.
Just like that. But that torch there, like I said, that was like the cool
it's pretty sweet. She did a nice. Comprehensively, that thing with the base and everything, she really was on point with that.
Yeah, and the fire just made it badass. And the cool thing is, we're like right on the streets when we're doing this. I mean, there's 40,000 cars a day going by this shop, and everybody's just riding by. You see the people turning their heads. They had the news crew there. They had 2 different news stations there. So they had Santa Claus come in.
Probably stoked to talk about something good happening in town.
I think so. Originally, I remember Sean saying, he's like, the mayor's gonna come. It's like, it's gonna be awesome. And what Sean did was, like, they had all the food. Like, so we cooked 2. He has like 2 huge kettles. I mean, a 40-gallon kettle, which is massive, and then a 20-gallon kettle. We made a 20-gallon kettle of chili and then a 40-gallon kettle of turkey vegetable soup. Yep. And he just gave it all away.
Yeah, handed out food to everybody that came through.
Yeah, all the neighbors were coming over.
Neighbors came in. It was kind of nice.
Bringing their kids, and Kalen had the soft glass go on, and he let the kids come up.
Everybody got to step up. Yeah, it's a great. Yeah, and that's kind of the purpose of his truck. I don't know that we said that. He takes that to all sorts of different events where people can jump on and get their hand at it, in between the demos.
He brings it to Melt.
Yep, brings it to Melt. I mean, anybody that's been to Melt definitely knows the Glass Routes truck down near the cafeteria, and
coming up this in February 1st, 2nd, he'll be down in Chambersburg, our hometown where we live. We have Ice Fest, which we have like 50 ice sculptors come in and they sculpt ice, and Caitlin sets the soft glass truck up, and we just blow glass for like 2 days.
Is Griffin gonna be there?
No.
No?
No, she's...
I meant Scott.
No.
I'm joking.
No, Scott. No, we... But anyways, any case, this show was great. They did a really good job. I mean, we had like our really good friend, Todd Chili.
Yeah,
like I said,
Todd Chili came in. He was already scheduled to be in for a Corning event that we also are going to be talking about here in a minute. But so he came in a few days early and demonstrated during it. They've got a nice I mean, so of course we're there for the show, but their shop itself, they really have put together a beautiful shop. It's got some nice work in it, and then it has a large like 5 foot by 5 foot window that opens up and that you look into a working glass studio, and they're gonna have people in there all the time working and demonstrating.
Yeah, the place was like it was a bingo hall for like a VFW.
Yeah,
and then they had this kitchen, and so they basically turned the kitchen into the glass blowing studio.
Yeah, and they still have like the sweet huge steel.
Yeah, the refrigerator, and the
vent hoods and stuff. So it's a perfect a nice little conversion going on. You know?
No, it's good. I think.
Yeah,
and like I said, that area there's nothing else in
Pennsylvania. Oh yeah, I can't. Well, I mean, you can definitely say that they've in just that one move they have the best shop in between Pittsburgh and
Philadelphia. Yeah, because Philly has some nice shops. Pittsburgh has a few shops, and you know, Harrisburg has nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, there's really nothing.
Yeah, totally.
So, but
yeah, that was great. Good job, Paul. Good job, Sean.
For sure.
Yep. And yeah, what else? Anything
else?
Well,
I guess we'd be talking about Chili. You know, you mentioned him.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Then of course, Don Chili came for this event at Corning, but luckily we had him down to the shop for a couple days before we went up to Corning. Hung out for a little bit. We didn't really make anything, did we?
Here?
Yeah.
No, we wanted to.
Yeah, we were here for 3 days. Yeah,
we wanted to do the
trying
podcast.
to do too much.
We wanted to have him on the podcast, and then we just ran out of time.
Yeah.
I mean, we were up there working, and we worked our asses off up at this opening for them, and then we had to come home. We had 2 days.
2 days.
We were hoping to bust out something, but we basically just jumped in the car and drove up to Corning on Tuesday.
Yeah.
And got there and met the whole crew. We had Eric Goldschmidt and Greasy Glass,
Scott Griffin,
Jason Howard,
with Drew, who I don't know Drew's last name. He came with Greasy. He's a great guy. And then we had Seth from Griffin, who was also there working with us. Taffy, Nico.
Yeah, Nico was there.
Yep.
And it was a good crew of people. And that was just, we're probably going to talk about this for a little bit because, Corning, if you're into glass blowing, that's like the mecca.
It's a destination. It's like one of the things
you want to do.
Yeah, you have to go to Corning at some point in your career.
I didn't really know about this. It was like spur of the moment kind of thing. He'd said, "Hey, Chili's coming in. He's going to go to Corning and do this like demonstration up there." And I'm like, "That's cool. It's cool." And he's like, "You're going to come along." And I'm like, "Okay, I'm going to come." And then I was like, really never set in stone until like the week of, and I was just like, "He's like, you're coming. We're going up there." And like. We were just kind of tagging along.
Yeah, so we actually were just thought we actually thought we were gonna go up there, maybe do a bunch of photography and film and check out the library and stuff like that. I mean, we were more than willing to
thinking too. Yeah. And then we got there, and then the thing started unfolding into this like
it's a major project. Yeah.
So what
you're bringing in
a
huge team. Yeah.
It's 2300, I think it was called.
Yeah, I think the event's like called 2300.
But it's like they're one of their largest events for the whole year, and I didn't expect this, but we did it in the actual Coliseum where they do the whole glass blowing demos.
Yeah, whenever you go to Corning, one of the things that they have is this huge amphitheater with multiple soft glass furnaces and glory holes going, and all day you can drop in and see them make something. Those guys are so talented. They make it look so easy. They sit there, one guy narrates while another guy hops on the on the blowpipe and will make something. I probably watched like 4 or 5 of those demos just while we were hanging out. Yeah, that one day we were hanging out, and they just would rotate. It was amazing. It wasn't like one guy did.
Well, when we first got there, we were sitting on these bleachers, and we're watching it's a beautiful facility.
Yeah, it's amazing.
As the glass blower's walking around the studio, the cameras are on sensors where they actually change the position where the glass blower's standing. They have cameras inside the glory holes. So
yeah, there's a great camera in the glory hole. You can see these guys going in and dipping into the pot from it.
But we were sitting there waiting. Greasy's in there kind of prepping up his pot, and like they're just trying to get everything kind of thinking about it, and Eric comes out and he's like, "I'll try to work you in when we get a chance and we'll figure something out." And we're just kind of like, whatever, we'll do whatever. Well, then they start like moving the bleachers back, and like this place is like a gymnasium where like the bleachers are automatic and they push them all back.
Huge. I mean, it was actually fun to watch because it was just like the construction of like taking down the handrails, setting them down, folding them, and then
the funny thing is,
it was a whole
Eric
production.
He said when Corning built this new facility, he's like, since they've built it, they've never utilized this room in this capacity ever before, and it was meant for it, but they've never done it. And so they had like, you know, the holes in the floor where they had the propane and the oxygen coming out, and so the idea was, I mean, if you watch the video at all, you can see like there's a center stage, and then there's the Coliseum, and then there's like a catwalk up around it. That's where everybody's kind of standing.
Nikolai Morse. I just want to throw out Nikolai. I haven't been able to like add his name, and I just saw that his last name there.
Nice.
There was Morse. And that's a Taffy Tubes. Yeah. This facility that they've set up there, they have the amphitheater, and like Kevin was saying, they pushed these bleachers back for the first time. They've already had pre-built all the gas lines into the floor, so there were like 4 manifolds at like each side of the room. And we ended up setting it up, popping them open, and getting all the torches set up. The incredible like video team that's at Corning. They had 12 people come in.
That's what we're watching now. We're watching
these guys. This is the actual event, but just the production prior to that we got to see, kind of like the behind the.
I would like to know what they actually spent to put this event on. I mean, could you can imagine?
I can tell you they didn't pay their artists anything.
But hey, we did pretty good.
But yeah, I'm not complaining. I'm just saying.
But well, what they did was, I mean, they had 3 furnaces full of Pyrex going. So I mean, but one of them was completely full of Illuminati. So anybody that knows anything about glass, Illuminati's, it's a very expensive color.
Well, it's expensive color, and there is, I mean, and maybe we'll explore it in a future episode. There's definitely some rumors that it may be done.
I need to scared about it.
I need to like search out that rumor and find out what the real story is behind that. I asked Greasy, but all Greasy wanted to talk about was like, well, I have 100 pounds. It's like, well, of course you do. But yeah.
So he had his furnaces set up, and he was kind of managing that part of it. And they had the 4 torches around the main stage, and those. Well, let's tell me about
the project. Just describe the project real quick. Like, so what was the goal of why we were there? What they were going to do?
We were going to basically build an entire Christmas tree from the ground up within 2 hours, and then cover it with
handmade ornaments
that were all UV. So the ornaments were all made out of glow bolt or glowpole, which is Greasy's glass, right? And you know, glows pink.
Yep.
And then the tree branches were Illuminati pulled out, dipped in a green transparent.
Transparent green.
And then make the branches, and then we assembled onto this metal frame, which if you watch this video where we're seeing, you can kind of see, you know, the tree we're building. And like I said, they built a little stage in the center. And like I said, when we got there,
it was a pretty cool stage. I mean, it was a little 4-foot elevated stage, and then they had these incredible like
LED
100 LED spotlights that surrounded the tree. There was 2 to each. There were a total of 8, 2 on each side, all pointing up at it.
Corner.
Yeah.
There was actually 12, I think.
Oh, was there 12?
Yeah, there was a lot.
Yeah.
They were heavy-duty lights.
Yeah, no, it was incredible. And then the video team, the whole time this is going on, they had 3 guys walking around with like cameras on their shoulders, still photographer walking around. They had the narration going. It's all going on the screens.
Well, the funny thing about, I thought it was so crazy is like, so we got there, and I just thought, oh, hey, they're going to put us in here and have us like carry some shit around or something like that. And then like, once we got there, they're like, oh, we got to do this and we got to do this. And like, they were kind of short-handed. We could have used another 2 or 3 hands probably.
Yeah, another 2 or 3 people would have made it a little bit easier and smoother, and we could have like had real assigned things, but we were all kind of jumping around. I mean, basically from the moment it started to when it ended, which I think it did even run over, I never had a minute to myself.
Once it actually started, and like I was up on the stage, I didn't quite realize. I was like, shit, there's like thousands of people watching us do this right now, and I was like, oh my god, what am I doing?
And they were everything that they were doing in there on the cameras were projected all around the museum,
the whole place,
and the gift shop.
And I didn't even know. Well, the funny thing is, we had no clue what was going on. I mean, he had me building this tree.
Yeah.
And I was the guy on the stage putting this thing together. And I had no clue what I was doing. He was like, you're doing great. Just keep going. And I'm like, oh, is this okay? He's like, yeah, it's great. It's great. I was like, I had no clue. And I'm literally using duct tape. So I'm like wrapping around duct tape around the metal to kind of wedge these glasses on so it doesn't
shim
spin.
It, and it would hold them. Yeah, because basically what we ended up having were these hollow tubes that were tube pulls from the furnace. And then the artists were making branches and then coming in and adding the branches. Hopefully on this video will pop up at some point. That's me doing a hummingbird right there. I made a few UV hummingbirds for the tree. But these guys were making the branches, coming in. I mean, it's a big team job. You had Kevin holding the pull. After Greasy, Nico would make the pull. He'd pull out the branch, hand it to Kevin up on the stage. Then Nico would be pulling on it. An artist would come in with 2 branches, slam them into the tube, pull, just like you're adding glass to anything, add it, pull back a little bit. Then, of course, you have to sit there and hold it while it sets. Then all of a sudden, 2 hand torches would come in, and we're like cleaning the seals up on all these.
There was a couple times my hands and arms were getting blasted with that torch a few times.
I thought I had to admit, there were a couple times those torches were pointed at you. I was just like, oh, shit,
holy shit. Yeah. I didn't want to flinch and look like a retard.
No, you did great.
But no, it was all around a badass experience. I mean, through the day, we got there, they got us a hotel room to stay at. Each night, we got together with all the crew. We went out drinking at the Foot and Mouth. Is that it?
No, it's a foot and mouth disease. I just like to call it foot and mouth. I don't remember. Hoof and foot.
Hoof and foot, isn't it? I can't remember either. It's a cool place. They got a lot of pickled vegetables.
It is a cool place. I liked it.
You were drinking some ridiculous drinks.
Me and Nico ordered paper airplanes that night, and we drank a lot of them. They were delicious. Honestly, I'm gonna have to like hit Nico up for sure. I think it was a bourbon-based drink with like a grapefruit.
It was definitely bourbon.
They're slightly bitter, tasty citrus. They're delicious. And then I found out, of course, that one of the highlights of the trip was that Jason Howard loves scotch. So we drank some Macallan and some Lafroig, and nobody drinks Lafroig. I mean, and then I always joke about how scotch smells like a latex bandage, and he was like, "You're on team latex," and I was like, "No way, I can't believe you said that." I mean, yeah.
We found out Jason's gonna come to Melt.
Yeah, we're gonna be. Yeah, Jason. I'm super pumped. Yeah, Jason's gonna be one of our artists this year at Melt, and you know such a talented guy. He's been doing this for years. I mean, if you have a Herbie, this is the guy to go to for tune-ups or questions or anything. He's an East Coast artist, so that's nice. I like to get some good East Coast artists out here. And again, he's just been doing this so long.
Same time as me, I think.
Oh yeah, I thought maybe
we met at Salem like 20 years ago.
Yeah,
so it was crazy. But the whole trip all around. I mean, that place is a beautiful place. If you ever have a chance, go to Corning, check it out.
Yeah, if you can't. Yeah,
I was kind of sad that we didn't get to go through the museum. Like I've been doing it a bunch of times.
Yeah.
But if we were there with Eric, he probably could have got us into some back doors or something.
Oh yeah. No, he offered to get us, passes into there a couple times, but
we were busy.
We were busy, and then I mean, we made it wasn't just that 2-hour event. There was a lot of prep up until then. We pre-made a bunch of the branches, did a bunch of like trials, a bunch of ornaments that were made prior to that, and yeah, so there was a lot
the finished
of effort.
Product. That thing glowed. I mean, like the tree glowed. That glass. I mean, that was one of the pluses. We did like Greasy pulled a bunch of tubes, and he gave us a bunch of the Illuminati tubing, which we got to come home with some really nice.
Yeah, we actually came home with a grip of that Illuminati tubing, which was I was just stoked that it was already coated in the green. I mean,
plus he traded me a nice piece I made for a whole bunch of his glass.
Yeah,
I got a bunch of Greasy glass that'll be coming out soon.
And we got a bunch of the glow pull.
Yeah, that stuff's nice. It's like I said, it's tricky to work with, but once you get it, it's a beautiful color.
I mean, here's the video right now is a great shot of the tree. You just see how those branches totally light up. See that sweet ornament up here to the right? Oh, the camera's kind of going towards it. It's a glopal with little Illuminati stringers on it that Don Chile made. That was one of my pickups from the show. That was sweet.
You took it?
When we were all done, they broke down this entire tree, and Eric basically said, "Anybody want ornaments?" So it's like
I took like 3. Yeah, I took 2 of Jason Howard's.
Yeah, I grabbed 2 of Jason's. I already broke one.
He makes nice clean looking ornaments.
Well, that's one of his main deals. He does Christmas. I've seen Jason Howard's Christmas ornaments in every significant glass gallery I've probably ever walked into. He's always
they're nice and clean.
One of the premier.
I make them. I don't even really want to sell them. I hate them. That furnace they built was pretty amazing.
Oh yeah, so that's one. Yeah, we hadn't talked about this, but this is a brand new furnace specifically built for Boro by Corning, entirely custom that they built.
It cost $20,000.
I think it was $25 actually.
That's insane for a Boro furnace.
But it was incredible. That was cool. The guy that was pulling there, he was one of the soft glass artists we were talking about earlier.
He's one of their master gaffers.
Yeah, he's one of their master gaffers that does the demos and narrates all day.
He's just a pimp. I mean, he handled that. He's never really worked Pyrex before like that. And he literally dipped into that thing and was blowing humongous pieces out of it. I couldn't do that. I've been working Boro for 20 years, and I don't think I
do not want to take anything away from him, but this is the deal. He probably was like, "This fucking shit's awesome. It's slow as fuck." It's like, "Oh, it's not dripping. I don't have to do anything." If anything, he just
we were talking about him, and they him being a master gaffer, they work with so many different kinds of glass up there. And the one time he was telling me a story. He's like, they had some glass that was so soft that when it was hot and it was on the end of the pipe, it poured through the end of the pipe and came out of the end of the blowpipe.
I just don't even know how you'd be able to hold it.
He said they didn't expect it. They didn't know.
It would just be like the heat transfer in that blowpipe
I can't imagine. I can't imagine how hot that was.
Yeah, I can't either. That's incredible. And well, just probably such a low melting point for it to be so fluid like that.
But he was a beast.
Dude, he was incredible. He was super incredible.
I couldn't believe he picked it up that quick. I thought he was gonna be like, oh shit, it's gonna stiffen up on him too quick or something.
Yeah, that's yeah. Well, like I said, those guys are. Yeah, they're the OGs of this.
Taffy was crushing it out in the furnace. He busted out a couple nice mugs out of the global, and he made some massive Christmas ornaments out of it.
Yep. Here's Don Chili on there, working on one of the branches there. So this is the branches that the artists are working on like that. Those are solid.
Solid UV.
Solid UV. Pulls that were from the furnace, but and then the actual branch itself, the body of the branch was hollow. So we are back with that guy. Yeah.
But anyway, like
you can kind of see in the back there up above his shoulders, there's balcony. So since we had pushed back those bleachers, there was a lot of people on the ground, but there is this raised balcony that's around the entire event. So a lot of people were up there and just kind of watching it from up there.
They wheeled in 2 bars. And even Eric, he was like, they've never brought bars in this room. He's like, they've never had alcohol in this room. And like they had 2 huge bars set up, both sides, wine, beer, liquor. Yep. They catered it for us. They brought us like all kinds of tacos and all kinds of food.
Huge fajita platter.
They brought us our own like cases of beer for behind the actual steam, which Eric was like, wait till after everything's done, then we'll drink and celebrate. But it was, like I said, they took care of us pretty well. And like it was
we had a great time.
It was an honor to actually be center stage at Corning, actually doing a crazy project.
Yeah,
like
that's pretty cool. It is.
And it's all documented. Like I said, we're watching this video. The one we're watching right now is on the Corning Museum of Glass, I guess their website. It's like is it on their live feed?
Well, it wouldn't be live because it was recorded.
But I mean, it was like they put it on the live feed and then it's just on there.
Yeah, they had it on live, and which is unique because I was talking to our buddy Todd Dunlap, and he watches a lot of these Corning videos, and he says that a lot of time they don't put them up in their entirety. So it's kind of cool that if you go to the Corning YouTube site,
2 hours.
Yeah, you can see like nice, it's like just an ongoing collage of all this work.
I mean, if you watch the video, Todd we never finished the tree. We were 3 branches short. So when it was all said and done, there was 3 branches missing, and I only got. My goal was to put all the branches up and then start loading it with ornaments because it was so tricky to put the ornaments on to balance it out.
Well, yeah,
I'd put one ornament on one side, and the branch would turn.
And that was just a flaw in the design. There were these metal posts off a center post, and so the tube would go onto the metal post, and of course the branches, and you'd hang one, that's when it would shift. But then we had to duct tape it, and then you're trying to force it on there.
If they would have been, if the poles,
you need to like put them both on at the same time.
Well, that's what I did. And if the poles would have been metal or welded, like they had those like poles with the branches coming out, and they would turn. So
they need to be like tagged, so
if
they
you
wouldn't
put one
spin.
on the other side would turn.
That makes sense.
And I told Eric, and he's like, "Oh man, I thought they were gonna do that."
Yeah.
And a couple of them didn't because they spray painted it, and the paint kind of held it in place.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it's a struggle. This was, I've been doing glass a long time, but this was definitely a huge like team coordinated thing to try to do.
We did it.
And it's really
2
hard.
hours.
Yeah,
2 hours.
Well, 2 hours and all the prep with it we did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 2 hours.
But the show itself, we should have had.
I thought it was longer. Didn't run.
No,
over?
they said it started at 6 and was over at 8.
Wow.
And they wanted. Like, if we would have had 4 or 5 branches made already, we could have just put it together. We could have had.
Well, honestly, that was the goal. We worked earlier in the day, but there was a furnace that wasn't reaching temperature.
They had to rewire furnaces.
Yeah, we had a few. There's a few. As you know, it's not unusual. There's a few setbacks, and that was part of the deal. So, but it was amazing. The whole experience was great.
And then we dropped Chili off at the airport.
Yep.
Drove home. And then we got ready for Christmas, which you were sick at Christmas.
Yeah, I don't even know what it was. I just didn't. Yeah, I felt terrible for a few days. You
just had like a little sinus thing going on. And like I said, we had Christmas and basically been in the shop, and we got the New Year, and the New Year had come up, and here we are. We're like the 2nd or 3rd of the New Year, and
yep,
we got a lot of stuff coming up.
Touch on hard New Year's bad service.
We went out to dinner for New Year's.
So yeah, we love food. You're gonna hear us talk about food and restaurants. So.
And we had just the best New Year introduction for 2019. We went to this restaurant, and it's actually the food at this place is awesome. Like I said, the cook. I always tell him, and he hasn't really ever eaten at one of the restaurants, but this guy that cooks there, Jeremy, he's actually my neighbor. He's one of the best chefs in the entire county where I live. I mean, he's awesome, and the restaurant's normally good, I would think. I've been there a couple times, you know, and this time was just, our service was the worst. It was one of the worst services we've ever had.
Yeah, was a funny way to start the whole New Year off with like total bad service. I guess it was actually New Year's Eve technically. So.
It was New Year's Eve, and you know, we get there. It was me, my wife, Josh, and our friend Darren, and we sit down. She comes and gets our drink ordered. We ordered martinis, two martinis.
Kettle One martinis, no vermouth with olives. His was dirty, mine.
And my wife orders a Stella, and she just says a bottle. She said a bottle of Stella.
Yeah, I'll take a bottle of Stella.
And so the lady walks away. She comes back
with a pint of Stella.
A pint of Stella.
And you see it, and you're like, okay, that's Stella. Hands it to Shelly.
But it was cider.
But it ends up being cider.
So Shelly was just like,
this is cider.
This is cider. This isn't beer. She's like, I wanted a bottle of Stella. While that's happening, she walks away. Our drinks, we look at them.
No, again, she walks up with our martinis, and I'm not joking. From 15 feet away, I think I said something. I was like, those martinis aren't cold. I could tell. Like when a martini's walking up, you can see the beaded condensation on it. I was like,
these things never touched.
Never saw ice. These were just straight vodka poured into a martini
warm glass of vodka.
It
was horrible. It was the worst drink. But so in the meantime, Josh gets up because he just, you know, and once you get to know him, you're gonna know that he don't take shit from a restaurant. He'll get up and tell you, and he does that. And it's just one of those things you're used to. He don't eat onions, and he'll tell you if the service is bad. So he gets up and walks up to the bar, and
I order a half a pint of ice cream.
So he could come back and mix his own.
And I mixed my own drink at the table because of that. Yeah, because I at that point, even though we'd only had 3 interactions with the waitress, my whole confidence was so lost, because this is the other deal. I mean, me and Kevin ordered our drinks, and he ordered his, I ordered mine. They're slightly different, even though it's the same drink. We ordered Kettle One. We said no vermouth and extra olives. She went to the bar and came back, and she said, "Did you want martinis?" And it was, it was like, all right, that's not a good vibe. And then she came back with those warm martinis. So obviously again, the waitress that night,
they were terrible.
There's only her third night.
In the meantime, you know, Josh gets up, gets his ice. She comes back with a bottle of Stella, but it's a white bottle. It's the bottle of Stella cider.
Yeah.
And Shelly was just like, no. She's like, this is cider. She's like, I want a bottle of beer. I mean, she was very specific.
She was, and she was actually very polite about it the whole time, I thought.
So the lady takes it away, and goes away. By that time, Josh comes back. He's mixing his drink. Then he gets back up because he hears about the Stella thing. So he goes up to talk to the bartender, which is a good friend of ours, and is like, who knows what he's talking about?
Yeah.
So she comes. This bar manager.
No, the bar manager came up while I was getting my ice.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. The bar manager comes back, sets the same bottle of Stella cider on the table, and goes, "This is Stella." And I'm like, yeah, it's Stella cider. It says cider. She's like, this is a Stella. I was like, we wanted a beer, a green bottle of beer. And she's just like, no, this is Stella.
Yeah.
And she's like, I've been doing this for a long time. I'm like, well, this has only been out for a couple years. I was like, Stella's been around since the 1600s.
Yeah.
I was like, it's been around for a long time. But she couldn't get it. I mean, she was mean. She was a rude person. And the waitress was standing behind her. And then by that time, you walk right around the corner. And you're like, hey, they don't have Stella.
Yeah.
Because you asked Crawford.
I went up and asked the bar. It's like, hey, we're actually trying to order a beer.
Bring us a Blue Moon.
Yeah.
On top of that, the lady they just sucked. Yeah, they brought the appetizers and the dinner at the same exact time.
It's a deal breaker.
It took 20 minutes to get us a piece of cheesecake to go.
Oh, that was bad. Yeah.
And then they overcharged me $20 on my bill.
Yeah.
So, hey, we're not cheap, but it was bad service.
It was.
We're going back.
But we're going back.
Because the food is good and the place is cool. I like the place.
And I think the food's going to be great. The menu they had that night was really good. What was it? Let's give it a shout out real quick. What's the name of it?
No, we won't mention it.
Oh, I mean, we were saying we like the food. I thought we should.
I just don't want to make them feel bad about the service because the service was terrible.
Okay, we won't say it.
And our good friend's getting ready to start working there.
Yeah, our buddy Darren's gonna be working there.
We'll have a lot of stories about Darren soon. Actually, hey,
that's a great segue.
This is Darren's Christmas present to Josh. I think it's
prostate massager.
Honestly, I think that's what it is. It looks like a taint massager.
Yeah.
He says
it's double-sided too. That's what I think. I don't think we've ever really touched on it. Like,
well, we nicknamed it the G spot. It says that, but it's for back scratching apparently.
No, not back scratching. It's like to
tenderize your shoulder.
No, it's like a pressure point thing where you can work.
It seems like you're supposed to sit on it and work it like a freaking joystick. But hey, we'll get into that some other time. But
thank you, Darren. Merry Christmas.
Yeah, we got a lot of stories about Darren in the future.
We haven't really talked about the other side.
Oh,
that's brutal.
It is brutal.
People don't like bumps. I'm just gonna say that. A little shout. Here's a little tech info for you promising.
But we got a lot of
like budding dildo makers. People don't want bumps.
They don't.
We've done a lot of R&D on this.
They want them smooth.
They want them smooth. You think like you're making it like, oh, I'm gonna add some marbles on this. I'm gonna add some little texture. It'll look cool. Like, but
now it could have a little bit of ridges, like subtle. Big knobbers don't work. You don't want big
but even
knobbers.
small knob. I mean, just anything. They're just like, no, they don't want that. They want smooth. It's funny. I think it's counterintuitive, but I don't know. It's aesthetics, I guess. I made
a lot of dildos.
I think the rib for her pleasure thing probably gives this idea, like, oh, texture's good.
I've made dildos out of like 50 millimeter rod that were like this long, like huge motherfuckers. Like we made a lot of dildos.
Yeah,
I ain't ashamed of that.
Oh, nothing to be ashamed of.
I ain't ashamed of that. Like, hey, dildos are a good business, man. People make a living making dildos, and hey, I've made some money.
I don't think there's. There's that Phalix is one big Chinese glass dildo company that is out there still, but there's not a lot of glass. Yeah,
I haven't made it in a couple years. We said it the other day. I was like, I want to make some dildos.
Right.
I've never. I'll tell you this much. I don't have any of them that I've ever made. I've sold every one I've ever made. And I've made hundreds of them.
Yeah.
Like I know, well, Paul, our buddy Paul Catherman, he did that for years. He made his living making dildos for fucking 5 years. He said
that makes sense.
Yeah, he said he made a ton of dildos.
Yep.
And hey, there's money in them, baby. The sex sells.
Sex sells. I've actually wanted to go to like some of the big, like
shows,
sex conventions, and like it'd be fun to go there with.
We when we go to Age the first year, and they had the ABM.
Well, yeah, when Age was held at the Hard Rock, the week, like literally, we were walking in there, and there were porn stars walking out of it.
Ron Jeremy walked by us. We were like, "This is Ron Jeremy, holy shit!"
Yeah, because ABN ended on Sunday, and then Age started Monday or Tuesday. So
that's what I was getting ready to bring up is what we got coming up. We got Las Vegas.
Yeah, so
we're getting ready. I'm getting my plane ticket today. I got to order it tonight.
Plane ticket today,
and you're gonna drive out.
I'm gonna drive out.
We get a booth for Melt, and the Las Vegas people are just they're one of our biggest fans, and we're one of their biggest fans.
Best trade show that's out there, and then of course I'd like to say a lot of praise for Champs too. I think they're a good trade show.
Champs is great.
And then Age sucks. Let's just be super clear about that. And you send me if you disagree, challenge it and tell me why they don't.
Yeah, Las Vegas does a really, really good job. I mean, they take care of us. They treat
us
with
industry
respect.
Show. Yeah.
And it's all American.
Beyond their treatment, it's not even the treatment of me, just how they treat everybody. If you go, they treat us good because we actually are good friends with them. But the reality is, you go to a show like Age, and it's like, no, we're going to treat you based on this perceived status of who you are, and everybody else can.
I haven't been to Age in what was it? 3 years ago we went.
Yeah,
it was something like that. But I personally didn't have a bad experience. But everybody around me did, and I was just like, "Wow!" I mean, they weren't people friendly, They just
that's true. Actually, that year I didn't necessarily have a bad experience, but it was just it was easy to level criticism at the people that ran that show.
Well, I felt bad for the people had to move out of their rooms and move down the hallways. Well, no,
that show's famous in terms of like how bad it was.
Yeah,
like you talk to people and they know about and. Ooh, I don't know if you guys are going to see this, but we got some cool Las Vegas Expo stuff on our monitor here.
Well, so we're leaving.
These guys are doing a great show. It is an American show, which is nice. Again, if you think that you can be like a supporter of American glass, etc. But the reality is, if you don't realize that we can't do what we do without other countries providing stuff, you're just out of sync with the reality of how things are.
For sure.
But that said, there should be shows that support American glass and work, and we should be supporting because we want glass artists to be successful in this country, and that's what Las Vegas does. The dates for that show are February 11th through the 13th,
and it's a great time.
It's a great time.
I mean, I'm gonna go out I'll go out Monday, and I'm gonna fly out Friday. You'll be out there the whole time.
Yeah, I'll be out there the whole time.
We get a booth set up. I mean, every night we go out to dinner. We have a good time. The show itself, I mean, they have how many hundreds of glass blowers set up in there? All American made. And
American products. I mean, I think they're bringing in some things that aren't just glass, that are other things that support head shops and glass shops.
Well, they do the marble exchange.
Yeah,
they have
a bunch of cool events. So the marble exchange, basically the way that's going to work is like if you go to the show and you're a glass artist, all you have to do is bring a marble that has a nice value to it, like
$100,
at least $100 type of value. Well, and we have to try. And I've had this ongoing conversation with them about this. Like, you can't just.
They said it has to be accepted. So it means you have.
It has to be accepted.
It said that.
Boom.
I'm
That
pretty
is
sure
the
that they
key.
said-
Oh, I hope so. That if they didn't, I'm definitely going to recommend that.
Like
to
it says
them.
that it says no janky.
Yeah. Well, and I
products.
actually, that's funny because I was having the conversation with it, and then they changed it, like, no janky marbles. And I'm like, well, I agree that there might be a better way to say that, but I thought it was hilarious to see that. No janky. Who's the janky judge?
The funny thing is, the first year we went there, me and Josh both got in the competition, but
judge. I could be the guy being like,
no, but
nope, sorry, take it home.
Josh pulled my marble out, and when he got back to the table, he was like, "This is fucking bullshit."
No, I did it right in the front of the thing. I pulled it out. I realized it was Kevin. I was like, no.
It was so funny.
I mean, I'm reaching into a bag of 100 marbles, and I pull my shopmate's marble.
But hey, it was a quality marble. I mean,
Yeah, it was.
nice. It was a nice skull.
Yeah.
It was a skull.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
and I had already recommended to him, put your cheap marble in there. Don't put your good marble in there. That's the irony
you did
of
say that
that.
because I was gonna put in a really heavy marble.
He had the super heavy marble. I was like, dude, don't do that.
I was like, he's like, don't do that. Put a cheaper marble.
just put a
in.
little cheaper marble in there. It's still gonna be one of the nicer marbles in there.
And he put it.
And then
he
I
pulled
fucking grabbed it. I can't believe that.
That was fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
I've gotten a couple decent marbles throughout the years. The
Yeah.
one I got last year was hollow.
Oh, cool.
It was all that fade to black hollow.
yeah.
It was huge. It was, it's like a baseball.
That's cool.
I don't even
You
know.
don't
I
see a
gotta
lot
look
of
at the name.
hollow
I gotta look at the name of it, but it's really smooth. It just has a tiny little hole in it.
Yeah.
And it's just, but it's a nice solid ball.
What's the decoration on it?
It's just fade to black. So it has all these different colors. The whole thing's fade to black.
Yeah. Interesting.
I mean, it's different.
I'd have to see it. I'm gonna hold back judgment until I see it.
But so we got
Sounds potentially janky. Could be like one of those things where I'm like, sorry, a solid color marble was not an option. But
it's different.
Hollow. Yeah, it is different. I like a hollow marble.
A couple people make them, not many.
Totally.
But the show itself, everything else is happening there.
Oh,
the casino's a freaking awesome time. Everybody's partying. All the
It's
glass
a
blowers
crazy
out.
dated casino, but it is a fun time. And this year there'll be another huge convention going on.
What's that?
There's some type of a smoking industry
smoke
show.
accessory. Yeah,
Smoke accessory. So that's kind of interesting to see. That's like, I mean,
well, the cool thing about that is that's gonna pick them people up to go into the
there'll
show.
be we'll have a lot more people coming through, but it's going to be the people that aren't necessarily, and this is, one of the things of a show. You're going to have an extra 3,000 people coming through the show that want to buy things, but the reality is
retail.
they're going to have to buy retail. You can't just sell one piece to a shop that has, like they're going to be coming in there
cool.
wanting a different
they
deal.
do that crew does it well. I mean, they have people walking around in butler outfits, canning hors d'oeuvres.
Yeah, that first night, they do that.
Yeah, the first night, and like I said, they have the music playing. They're gonna have a lot of demos.
They have music
this year.
playing, and this year they have a special thing called the Glass Orchestra, which is like, if you're a glass blower that plays an instrument, you can get in.
Yeah, I don't know how that's gonna go.
Well, I love these guys, but I hope the music works. I just don't see. I mean, when I'm at my booth, I do not want rock music blasting from some band. So
That's
I don't
why
know
I'm
about
actually,
that.
I'm
but
actually usually glad our spot's
our
usually in the
spot's a
back
little
corner,
bit
and we're not right next to the stage.
Oh yeah, totally. I would definitely not want to be next to a stage when I'm trying to talk to a customer about something. And but yeah. So I imagine they've got something going on because there's a lot of demos going on. They've got a huge demo list of some big names that are coming in for that.
No, it's gonna be fun this year.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a good time.
Yeah,
And we're gonna have we get a double booth. They hook us up. We get two booths, which is like 10 by 20, and we set up all of our melt stuff.
Yeah, we'll have a bunch of our
t-shirts,
melt
and
stuff.
posters.
We'll be
talking about melt,
promoting
putting out
melt this year. That's kind of like our
launch date.
Yeah, it's kind
usually.
of the launch thing. We kind of launched the show there in February.
We officially start selling tickets, and there'll probably be. We usually do a discount, don't we, for like 3 days?
Yeah, we do something during the actual dates of the show. We'll have like some little special going.
So you might be able to save like $100 on your ticket for melt for like those 3 days if you want to get it. And then on top of that, we'll have our own glass.
We're gonna have glass there. But then the other thing, which we haven't said, we'll be actually recording some of the podcasts there.
Our producer's gonna fly out with us, and Jeremy, he's gonna come out and set up. And we were thinking about doing some like little quick snidbits.
Yeah, we're gonna try to do a bunch of capture a bunch of people for some little
10-minute interviews.
Little 10, 20-minute interviews with people.
Have them come into the booth for a beer and
and then we'll also we're gonna try to put together at least one solid interview with somebody too while we're there.
Hopefully maybe two. Hopefully get one each night. And that'll be fun. We're gonna have a good time. And then from that, we basically start our year getting ready for melt. So but yeah, we got a lot of stuff coming up, and we're gonna be talking about a lot of this stuff.
But I'm sure a lot of you, if you're a glass blower and you're watching this right now, I'm sure you're kind of in the same position. It's like February is the opening of the trade show season. Everybody's getting ready. You're either doing Champs, Age, or Las Vegas, or maybe you're doing all of them.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I don't know. Yeah, you have to be. Yeah, it's a lot of work to do all of those shows. But there's some big shops and people that can do that. But it's
crazy. Some people go to some, and I mean, I like Champs is fun too.
Champs is great.
I liked when they did Champs at the same time as Las Vegas, but they just don't get along, I guess, a little too well. But
no. And I'm just gonna call Champs out. It's not because of Las Vegas, because Champs doesn't want to get along with another trade show. There's just and you can imagine they're two competing people. But, I mean, there's a way to look at it differently, I think. And if the thing is, Las Vegas has attempted to run their show the same time as Champs so that people could go and enjoy both. But the Champs has actually tried to circumvent that, and they've changed their dates so that now, if you're a store owner, now you have to fly to Vegas for Champs, go home, and then fly back for Las Vegas. And it just taxes everybody extra money, extra time, extra fucking employee working at your shop when you're not there. But if we could actually get these two shows to be able to coordinate, it would be amazing. There was a time when Age, when I would have had nice things to say about them, overlap with Champs, and that way big shops or companies could do both shows or be at one and know that there was going to be the crossover between the two. And now it's so competitive. And
I mean, you think they would want to work together. I mean, if you would have even if you had Champs start Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Las Vegas do Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
I mean, Champs went out of their way to change their dates. They had to work hard for that too, because the reality again.
I like Champs.
Oh, I'm not talking. I like Champs too.
I went to Champs in Atlantic City this last year. I competed in the competition.
Have another beer. I've been to a bunch of the Champs. I've been a competitor myself, and I support them. I think they're a very important show. In fact, I'll get mad at glass blowers that shit talk Champs because they get pissed about the Chinese glass or the other products there.
That's just the thing. People can't sustain their shops. I have friends that have shops, and it's they make their money. I can't make a rig. They're selling rigs that I would sell for $1,000.
Yeah, nobody
that they're selling for $48.
But they're not as good.
They're not as good, but they're still making Klein recyclers, tricyclers for $48. And if they're selling them for $48, they're buying them for $28. It's insane. It's insane. I look at some of the stuff at our buddy John's shop. And I can't believe how cheap. It
genuinely amazes me the prices and stuff that come out of there. But you have to be super critical of that. And the reality is that some of the China glass is decent, and then some of it's going to be painted on the inside, and that's the hard part.
Biggest thing.
But again, you can't. I'm not going to fault Champs for being the premier show. Las Vegas you could say Las Vegas is a premier show for what it's doing, but Champs is the one that's leading the way. You can be a shop and go to Champs and get everything you need.
Yeah, Las Vegas doesn't have your rolling papers and your torches. Totally. They might have a stand or two, but they're not there doing that.
Yeah.
But Champs is, and plus they have the games, and they're doing all that different stuff. I mean, it's fun. I have a good time.
Hey, I've got nothing bad to say about Champs, but the only thing I could say that would be slightly disparaging is that I wish they would just get it together and realize that if they could work with Las Vegas, they could probably get rid of Age, and then Age wouldn't even exist. Yeah, and I think I would be all for that. Then Age could either transform into the type of show it should be, which is just a public show where they sit there and I'm about to get fired up there.
I saw that this year. They opened it up to the public, and they made it a public show.
That's what they do every year.
But they made it promoting that now. They're saying, hey, if you want to come in as the public, just as a person.
Yeah.
And basically that just turns it into a retail show.
Which is fine. Again, just make it what it is. Don't try to pretend that you're this trade show when the reality is you're not. You're just really trying to, Anyway, I'm going to try to.
Yeah. Hey,
I'll be talking about more about that over.
We will. We're going to talk about it because that's one of those things that's going to always come up in our conversations because we talk about it and that's what we do. So moving on.
We're going
to talk about something. We have a friend of ours, which is sad, but his name's Gary Mitchell, and he had a shop in Pittsburgh called Heady Gallery. And he was an awesome guy, man. He bought glass from everybody. He had probably the nicest shop in Pittsburgh, but he passed away in the last month. Yeah, which it kind of hit me hard. I didn't realize it. I mean,
he was a very young man. You did not expect.
I think he was only 36. Yeah, or something. He wasn't that much older.
Oh, not much.
He was very young, and his shop was nice, and when I saw it on Facebook, actually, somebody posted it up. I think it was like Jay Gordon or something. He posted up, and he was just like, "Hey, this is somebody that buys a lot of glass from me." He's like, and I was like, "That's Gary."
That's Gary, yeah.
And I was like, "Man, we've been to dinner with this guy. We met him at Champs. That's where we actually hung out with
Champs.
him."
Yeah, we had dinner with him.
And he was just a nice guy. But so he has a GoFundMe page. But what we have is this cool ass piece that he had bought from me, and me and Josh and our other partner Todd made, and it's like this penguin rig and
bubble trap penguin
flips. And he lives in Pittsburgh, so he wanted some penguin stuff for the Pittsburgh Penguins. So he got this piece, and then it had a crack in it, and he sent it back to me. I fixed it, so I haven't got it back to him. And then I found this out. So what we were gonna do is put this thing up for auction, and maybe try to raise some money and put towards his kids' GoFundMe page. Yeah, I think we'll probably do better at it selling it than them sitting in their inventory.
Yeah, we just want to take a shot, like trying to auction it off ourselves.
I think we could do better with them, and they'd be happy just to get the cash. So we're gonna put that up on our, I guess, Instagram page, right? And we'll probably show it on the. We said about maybe doing the Melt Instagram too.
Yep. Well, we might auction it off from the Melt Instagram page. Is what our plan. But we'll be making some posts from me and Kevin's page, the Breaking Glass page. And we'll be putting it up for auction. It's for a good cause, and
for sure. And if you have, like I said, if you have a couple extra bucks and you want to throw it towards his kids' GoFundMe page, or go and
check out his GoFundMe page. There'll be a link in the information, and on
he was definitely a nice guy, and like I said, it's sad.
Oh, great guy! Such a nice guy. One of those things. It's always sad. Anything like that.
And Pittsburgh's got nothing like other than that now. They don't really have too many shops, which is crazy. I don't know what they're going to do with that shop, which. I don't know.
Didn't he didn't have a partner or something?
Not really.
Oh, because he was starting a schools. Remember,
he was talking about it, and there again, I don't know what he's going to do. I don't know what they're going to do with it. I mean, he had enough employees.
Did he buy a kiln from us too?
He wanted to.
He wanted to. Okay, God, he didn't have a kiln too. Dude. Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, please keep an eye out for that. We're gonna be
we're gonna put that up on our page, and like I said, we're our website, man. I mean, we're gonna be putting all this stuff on our website.
Yeah, if you have any questions about what we're doing, what's going on, or episode, or information about some of the stuff that we talk about, that you'll be able to find it on our breakingglass.show website,
and that has links to all the Instagrams, we have the mailbag.
Real quickly, not real quickly, but again, we want to mention the mailbag. One of the things that we want to do every week is like answer questions from people, or hopefully get subjects to talk about from you guys. And again, feel free to throw it out about anything. We'll sit here and we'll discuss whatever you ask us to, or at least anything.
And we'll research it.
Yeah,
we'll call some people.
No promises on research. But
we can make a phone call.
Yeah, we can make a phone call. I got Google on my phone.
Yeah.
So anyway, the mailbag. Please, you're watching this, send in a question. Maybe you want to know something about a technique, maybe you want to know something about a glass show, maybe you want to know whatever it is.
You have a link to that right under our website.
It's all in information. Again, if you just go to the website, which is breakingglass.show, it will have a link directly to the mailbag, and you could submit anything there, and we hope you do.
For sure.
Yep.
And then we're also going to do
this. Yeah, we're going to have a giveaway.
So yeah, this is going to be
we're going to try to do a giveaway every week.
Every episode. So this episode's going to be just us announcing the giveaway, and so at the end of each episode, we're hoping to have a piece that we're going to show you that we're going to give away for the next episode. So this week we got a goblet me and him made together. Yep. It's got one of his like really sweet ass little eyeballs. And it's actually a cup and a foot that I made. We make a lot of cups and feet together. Yep. We went to a lot of wine fests this summer, and that was pretty.
We went to a bunch of wine fests. Of course, nobody wanted wine glasses. We had over 125 wine glasses at each show, but people only wanted pipes.
Funniest story, real quick. We went to Glass Vegas last year, and we showed up with a ridiculous amount of pipes. I mean, we had a lot of pipes, and we worked on that for months.
We had a bunch of pipes built up.
We took probably 20 wine glasses.
Yeah.
We set this huge display up. We sold all the wine glasses.
Almost every wine glass.
And we didn't sell a single pipe.
I had one.
At a pipe show,
I had one stolen.
Yeah, we had one. No, you had a pendant. It was a pendant.
Yeah.
So that was all that happened. Then we go two more, a couple months later to the summertime. We went to 2 wine festivals. And the one wine festival was 40,000 people. The other one was, I don't know who knows how many people. I mean, it was at Watkins Glen. Watkins Glen, New York, which is a speedway. Fish plays there. It's huge. We didn't sell a single wine glass, and we sold every pipe we had.
Yeah.
I mean, like, we just took pipes, set them out just as a joke almost, and we had hundreds of wine glasses, and we didn't sell a single wine glass.
Yeah.
So it was pretty wild. The only glass we sold was one that somebody ordered custom. That we had to go home and make.
Custom one, so we had to go home and make it anyway.
But we didn't sell any of the ones we took.
Yeah.
So we kind of learned a lesson. I think glass blowers will buy wine glasses.
Yeah.
But wine drinkers don't. They buy pipes.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're going to have this on our Instagram.
Yep.
That's where we'll list these things. So we're going to come up with some kind of game each week. We don't know how it's going to work. It might just be picking a number.
Might be a pick a number. It might be, who knows. Tell us.
We don't know how it's going to be. Yada. Put that in the grab bag if you have an idea for the competition.
Yeah, totally. We'll take suggestions on that.
I like to do trivia, but I think people
you can't do trivia with the internet.
People would cheat.
Yeah, totally.
But we have this week. Look for it, and maybe you can win it.
Yep.
There's probably not too many people listening yet, so you have good odds.
Yeah, totally. I mean, hopefully it'll help that we post it, but yeah.
And other than that, man,
we got to wrap up.
Yeah, we got one more.
We got one more thing. We got to talk about our good buddy, Mr. Steve Geller.
Stellar Glass, baby.
Stellar Glass.
He's a good buddy of ours. He's awesome. And he put this up yesterday, and I saw it, and I was just like, "Holy shit, dude!" I was like, "We gotta give him at least a shout out, so maybe he can get a little extra traction." Because 2 years ago, him and
2 years ago, he was in an accident with our buddy Blake or Gonzo Glass, and basically had a tooth knocked out. And the deal is, even though he has insurance and etc., and he submitted a request a couple times to his dentist, the deal is he doesn't have enough teeth knocked out for the insurance.
They told him he needed more teeth missing to get the insurance policy. Our producer's laughing, which is hilarious because he's like, I want to make this picture my screensaver. It's like, it is good stuff. Yeah. But if anybody knows Steve, he is a sweetheart. Seriously, he's like a big huggable teddy bear.
Dude, he's a dad. He's got 3 kids. He's insurance. He's got his insurance. He's a hardworking guy. He's basically the only other way he could have actually gotten insured from the accident was to sue Blake. And even though I really encouraged him to do that, he opted not to. And so it's either like sue his best friend or just go toothless. So
he's been rocking that
toothless look for a little while, and yesterday
you saw this and you sent him a picture.
Yeah, yesterday I went in there and I edited it. I just quickly drew a tooth into his face, and I told him that for the future, if he needed me to edit teeth into any of his pictures, I'd be happy to do that for him.
That's just fucking hilarious.
So, but either way, we love Steve.
He's one of our best helpers.
At Melt. Totally. He's an incredible
fishing derby.
This year he put on the fishing derby, and if you were at Melt this year and took part in that, you know how epic it was. And he did a ton of work on that. And again, we just love this guy. He's a great guy. Go throw Steve $10 and let's get him a tooth.
Yeah, he's up to like almost $500. He needs $2,000.
He's craving some corn on the cob. He can't do it. He's like missing it. So
I love you, Steve.
I love you too, Steve.
But so anything else? Moving on, we basically, the future's coming. We have a lot of things coming up. We're gonna hopefully have a guest on soon.
Yeah, we're gonna work on. January is one of those months for glassblowers. Like we said, you're getting ready for the shows. You already see it's only the second day of the year, and I've seen so many posts of people posting work. I'm gonna have this at Vegas. I'm getting ready for Vegas, etc., etc. So we're gonna do our best. We're gonna try to get somebody on the show between now and the end of the month, and then of course, after February, we're gonna have we'll have an explosion of people coming in and getting some content going. But that's kind of what we'll be on. Send us some info or questions in our mailbag to help us give us some ideas of what to talk about. Give some
content, and we'll work on it ourselves and try to come up with some interesting stuff to talk about. But for now, hey.
And thank you to In-N-Out Beverage.
Yeah. In-N-Out. They're the place where you get our beer.
That's where we buy it. Yeah.
They're going to be a sponsor someday, soon.
And if you're interested in any sponsorships, you just go ahead and get us hold of us. We'll set that up.
Yeah. We'll take it. We'll take it. But okay.
That's it.
Hey, we'll see you maybe in the next week or so. We'll hopefully have another thing for you. And we'll look forward to hearing from you from all your questions. So, later.